having a bit of an issue with my backpack, and it's this part here right there that is kind of rubbing on my love handles here when I walk. So I have this irritated area down here. So I'm gonna try some hobo magic. Right, so mission successful. I applied a little bit of cushion here with an old towel and some duct tape. So if you ever wonder why hikers carry around duct tapes on their poles and bring a Swiss Army knife, that's what this is for. So I hope it works, and I'll let you know in the next couple of days. I worked a full 3 days. Looks like I might have to get something a little more sturdy. Good morning from out here. It's day 6 on the trail. It's Wednesday, and we hiked about 3 miles out of town this morning on a road walk to get back onto the trail. And then I hitched a section and skipped a bit of trail to skip slightly ahead so that I would have sufficient time to get into Silver City for trail days on Saturday. I really wanted to go there and look forward to that. And also the water situation in that stretch was really not the best, so I'm not too worried about it. So that's the new plan. It's going to be another 3 days to Silver City. We're now in the Gila National Forest, so the environment has slightly changed. As you can see behind me, there is trees now, and let me give you a little bit of a view here. That mountain over there is what we'll be passing today, this mountain range, and there's lots of trees and bushes up there, so some shade around. It's going to be a pleasant walk, about 18 miles today, and let's get going. So in case you're wondering why I didn't make a video about the stop in Lordsburg, I didn't really think it's that interesting. It's mostly you spend most of the days doing, I don't know, laundry, grocery shopping, lying in bed with your feet up, eating, drinking, cutting videos, chatting with other hikers. So there's nothing too fancy. I might make a video about resupply stop at some point, but I didn't think it was worth it. So that's really the main reason. That stop in Lordsburg also put things into perspective regarding the hardships of the first section. Probably chatted to around 10 hikers overall that you meet in town. I also saw some people online. And that first stretch really is extremely hard on everybody. I mean, a couple of people, almost everybody that I spoke to took a 0. A couple of people have also taken some time off to just heal back up, because their feet just look a lot worse than mine do. There are a lot of people with blisters and foot situations going on that looked a lot worse than what I had going on. One girl that I spoke to had 2 completely open heels that were essentially open wounds, so she's trying to take care of that over the next couple of days. So I think it's not so much a material issue or a gear issue, because all of these people are walking in shoes and socks and everything that they've well used to and that are broken in. I think it's really more about the environmental factors and the fact that you have you're essentially constantly working in dust and dirt and sand, and you got the heat as well. So I think these 2 factors probably play the biggest role, and that should hopefully improve in the next couple of days, because the tread changes to a more foresty landscape and there's a little more solid soil, so you're not walking into sand all day, and that will probably also put less strain than on the feet, and hopefully that blister situation will resolve quickly. All right, this really gives the perfect view of what we're doing today. So first we're crossing through here, these forests, to the bottom of that hill, and then we go up that ridge line to the top of the peak, and then just above it, and come down the other side. I really like it up here. We're not even, I mean, we might be, let's say, 200 feet or 300 feet above what we walked before Lordsburg, but it looks very different up here. See, you have these little trees and shrubs, and the plants look different. So it's just the other side of town, but the vegetation is completely different. It's also got this rolling hills where you're just moving up and down. So it's a lot more diverse, I guess, compared to the other stretch. I like it. Granted, hiking in a rested state and without pain in your hips and feet is also a lot more enjoyable, so that helps. The person who gave me a lift this morning was a truck driver from Mexico working in the US, and he was carrying steel beams to the border. So I asked him what both he and the people in Mexico think about this whole thing, and he just said, "Well, muy duele el corazón." So he said his heart was hurting to having to work on this project. Yeah, his opinion was just that not only is it not gonna help in any way, but it is also just a symbol of division between people. And he said especially down here, where a lot of people living on the US side of this fence are actually from Latin American descent, speak Spanish. There's a lot of back and forth between the border. It's a very divisive project. At least that was his opinion. While being in town, I also did a little math. Remember how I said that I was about 30 pounds overweight? I found a bit of a new way to think about it. So apparently a pound of human flesh corresponds to about 3,500 calories. So those 30 pounds give me a buffer of about 100,000 calories before I actually dig into the substance of. If you convert it to Snickers bars, which I just had, that's roughly 400 Snickers bars that I don't need to eat because I'm already carrying them. And how long is that gonna last me? Well, the last days before we rolled into Lordsburg were about just a little north of 20 miles a day, so around like 20, 21-ish, 22, 23-ish. And according to my watch, that was about 50,000 steps a day, between 5 and 5,500 calories. And I'm pretty sure that each pack of food that I brought per day contained about 2, maybe 2,500 calories. So that will give me a calorie deficit of 2,000 to 3,000 calories a day. Let's go with 2,500 to make it easy. So that will make it 40 days of hiking that this buffer will last. And if you include some zeros, let's round it up. It's probably going to be 2 months. So given that I started mid-April, those 30 pounds will last me all the way into June. Time. I'm telling you, the people who take care of this trail, both in building, maintaining and supporting it, they are just amazing. I mean, this is so far out in the boondocks. I have no idea how much work it takes to keep all of this up, but it will be a nightmare without this kind of support. So huge thank you to everybody involved in this. I mean, you got like a little container with first aid and wound care and some snacks, ibuprofen, TP, kind of everything you would need if you were in a pinch out here, and water, and holy smokes, a chair. I even left a bucket so you can put your feet up. Just call it the bucket of love. I wrote a message to whoever is in charge of this. This is the kind of surprise that really makes your day. It's 1 o'clock. I just left the disco tree. It's really important about those kind of special places is just leaving them ideally in a better state if you found them. So don't trash them up. Take care of them. Just starting the first real climb on the CDT, up Burroughs Peak. It's about a 400-meter climb. And then back down on the other side is where my day's goal will be. Running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Is it
now decides to quit his job and head to New York City. This cowboy's running from him.
Gotta get this off my chest, but I can't tell you how much I am enjoying this hike today. It is so beautiful, and the terrain is also, I don't know, it's just much more my terrain than the desert, which was interesting in its own way. I just would not have wanted to hike another 3 weeks in the desert, so that would have been not my favorite kind of hiking. This was a lot better. There's trees, and the smell of pines, and shadow, and the breeze, and gentle up and down. Everything a good hike makes. Just heading down the mountainside now, and I walked up on the other side through an oak forest, and you probably already noticed, but I enjoyed today a lot. Certainly my favorite day so far by a mile. Row, row, row your feet gently down the hill. Merrily, 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 I am at the finish soon.